first day yesterday was the first day I felt normal in an awful long time. It was great to get out there. It was the usual. They were running really fast, but running the wrong way. But all in all, we got a big group. Takes a lot of, organizing. Coaches have done a good job of, keeping guys separated as best we can and, masking up whenever you're near somebody. Definitely different though.
Can you kind of give us an overview of how you guys go about doing that, keeping everybody separated? Is it small pod groups? Is it truly everybody together? How do you go about doing it?
Yeah, it's everybody's out there on the field, but we try to, when we normally all congregate around the roll cage there on the field to watch BP, we don't let them do that. We put guys down the cage in no more than 10. Same thing with the weight room, no more than 10. But when we're outdoors, we're all out there, but we do, when we stretch, they take up basically the whole left field line all the way to center field, just keep them separated as best we can.
How imperative is it to get this practice in, especially, I guess, for all of them, but for the newcomers to get your fall practice in?
It's critical. You combine the fact that they haven't done it, a lot of them haven't done anything in a long time to get their bodies back in shape, their arms back in shape. But, you do a ton of teaching, if you will, and getting a foundation of what we're expecting out of them, during the fall period. I wish we could practice or play practice games, exhibition games, or whatever they want to call them in the fall. But, I get it. They're trying to keep everybody away from each other. But, it's good, really. It was probably the best first day practice. It's in the top 3 or 4 that I've ever been at.
I mean, I know some guys were kind of able to play this summer. But you talked about how different it was. A lot of guys, no cape and stuff like that. It was a very different summer. They may not have practice. I guess because of that, how nice is it? I know you can kind of space things out more this fall. How much do you kind of expect that to help as you're scaling guys up who maybe haven't been going, at least not in a team setting for some time?
Yeah, we're just going hard, because that fear of getting shut down, like a lot of programs have had happen. We're just going and trying to be as safe as we can. The hand sanitizers all over everywhere, and guys are expected to clean their hands, and we don't let them use the clubhouse except to go in, grab their stuff, and right back out. We're not letting them use the showers, things along those lines. But again, we've got to go, and I'm very thankful that our administration cut us loose.
Do you know the roster rules yet as far as how much you're going to be able to carry in the spring?
Well, no, we don't. I know that there's discussion that this is going to have to be a 2-year release to let this stuff clear out. I mean, we still don't know about next year's draft, how many rounds they're going to have. We're at 48 right now, and believe it or not, that's on the low end of everybody that I've spoken with. It's a backlog of players. It's going to create very good baseball. It creates a lot of good competition within our team, but we really do need a couple of years. There's no way you can do it. It's sad.
What are the challenges of having that larger roster, and how much different is practice planning this year?
It's definitely different. The fact that we have to figure out ways to keep them separated. Once the scrimmage starts, that's pretty normal, and we're going to do a lot of that this fall, because we've got to evaluate who can play, who can't, what's best for our club, and who needs to be where. So we're going to scrimmage a lot more this fall than we ever have.
Meet in that first practice, how long until you became the normal meet again and were yelling? And was it different? Did you try to appreciate it more because you didn't know when this day was coming?
I did appreciate it. I woke up, it was like a kid at Christmas. All the coaches were the same way. It didn't take long to start yelling. Somebody had their mask down and, heading that way towards a group, and we got to, beat it into them that they've got to have those things up anytime they're going to be around somebody. But, again, a lot of guys have changed their bodies, some for the good, some for the bad. But, all in all, again, I'm very pleased. We've got some young arms during our individual sessions and, yesterday. It's been fun to watch them.
How's scheduling going for the spring? Are you guys expecting to play a normal schedule, very condensed, very regional? Do you have any idea, truthfully?
No, we don't know. Literally, our schedule's, there, but, we really don't know how it's going to look. We've had discussions with, other coaches about what they're hearing, and but really and truly, nobody knows. Nobody really knows.
Is there any kind of timeline? I know like basketball, they decided a week or so ago for November 25th. For baseball, is there any kind of timeline for when you guys want to have decisions made?
No, unfortunately, no.
Could you see scheduling go more along the lines of geography, maybe within the ACC, as well as you've got Stetson nearby, Mercer, other schools within a close drive?
Yeah, you've got a chance of that, being able to play outside of the conference. But, if we don't have a vaccine, I don't see it happening. I think it's going to be a conference only. There's talk of, conference only, play everybody, and then play your rival home and home. Play 4 games, Friday, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. There's your 56 games right there. So that's probably, in my opinion, what's going to happen.
Financially, with the roster being stretched, how does that impact as far as you've got to pay for some of those scholarships and other expenses? You leaning on athletics, the bullpen club? How's that working out?
Yeah, with the extras, the returning seniors that are exempt, we pay for that out of the bullpen club. And, again, we paid for it out of that, then everybody else added up to 11.7. So we didn't have any extra expense there.
Coach, I know you've spoken about the repetitious nature of baseball and just how important it is for guys to keep going and keep going and keep going. Were you impressed with the fact that you feel like you've had such a good practice early on since guys have been out of the habit, or do you think it was just the enthusiasm to be back out there?
No, I think it was, a combination. They really, really did, have a lot of good energy. Again, we got an awful lot to cover. But, the talent-wise, I think this recruiting class is a little bit better than people think, especially when it comes to the arms. Some of these arms have made jumps. They took advantage of the time off and really got their bodies in great shape and arms in great shape. And they're going to be pushing the older guys. I can promise you that.
Do you see it as a plus or a minus that some of these guys coming in from preps didn't necessarily have that full season to work and kind of strain on their arm, and instead could kind of use this as an expanded off season to be ready to go in fall?
It was really good for the pitchers because, again, time off, with the arm, there's only so many bullets in there. Really good for them, but really bad for the hitters. And they, our first scrimmage yesterday, the pitchers dominated them, but they'll catch up.
What's the latest on recruiting? Are you allowed to go out yet? Is there any timetable for when you can maybe go out and start looking at kids again?
Not even going to, they've already shut it down until January 1st of 21. So we can't do anything, just the same as it was, literally in March. You start watching games, everything's live streamed at these events. They're still going on, but we can't be there.
So you can watch them though, like from a weird camera angle, but you can only get so much, I assume, from what you're watching from a weird camera angle at a faraway event.
Yeah, the bigger events, the groups that have put on these events that have money, they'll shoot it from center field, which is obviously the best view to watch from. But some of the other ones, it's just basically, they set a tripod up, they put a camera behind home plate, and then you're constantly calling, hey, field 3, somebody bumped into it. I'm staring at the dugout. Can you get it back to where we can see?
Right.
Coach, go ahead.
All right. Last year, you stressed a lot about the aggression on the middle third of the plate offensively. Was that aggression level something that you were happy with, or you think that's still a developing mindset?
It's still there. It takes time. The fact that I felt like we were getting better, obviously, we were playing defense and, swinging at pitches that were in the middle third of the plate, fastballs that we need to, it's go time on those pitches. And we're stressing that again. Some of the young pups are grasping it and some of them aren't, but we got to be ready to hit.
Coach, over the summer, we've seen some D1 programs struggle to keep their doors open. How worried are you right now for the health of the sport as a whole in college?
It is worrisome. I think, with the text chat that we've got going within a bunch of coaches, everybody's, starting to feel a little bit better. Playing football really helps, guys. And, as long as we can keep them on the field, money come in, I think we can, make it all work. Sure, we're having to work a little bit harder trying to raise money, but, it's hopefully we're getting close here. Because Corey Clark's got the vaccine, didn't you? I'm pretty sure you were right on it.
I'm waiting for the highest bidder.
Gotcha. Okay.
Come on, man. I'm not going to give it away.
Hey,
me on that topic, how often is it once a week that you guys get tested?
Well, it depends. There's a lot of different protocols, and I'll get confused here based upon whether they had it before they got here, whether they got it when they got here, whether they've been around, the contact tracing. But right now, it's not a set once a week type deal. We've got about 7 or so guys out right now, and but it's a long process to get them to where they're able to come back out on the field. If they've got it or if they've come in contact when they think they've come in contact with someone. They've been great about they got to be honest. If one of their sisters or whatever, or their room dog, some of the guys, the older guys especially, live with childhood friends or guys that aren't on the baseball team, and but they've been honest and upfront.
You talked about football. I mean, obviously, with what Mike Norvel's having to go through right now, I guess had you talked to him about that? And I guess how would you kind of fathom if you weren't able to kind of be around your team for a period like that? I mean, I guess it could be a possibility come this spring. Hopefully not. Yeah,
and it's a scary thought. No, I have not spoken with him, but from my understanding, they got a pretty good little system to where he can watch and still, teach and do his thing. But he's obviously got to do it from quarantine. Technology is pretty amazing.
Do you think Norvel getting it though, was a good, not that your kids needed a wake up call, but hey man, this guy protects himself every moment of the day in a practice and he still got it. You guys need to be diligent.
We did use it as an example. Our guys again have been good, and they got to continue to be good. But when that did come about, we definitely, look, there it is right there. This guy's got a lot vested. He's doing everything he can, and he got it. It can happen to any of them. And then when the numbers pop and they start saying, look how much younger everything is trending, then, we've got coaches and staff, support staff that have, young children and, some are caring for their parents and that type of thing. So I think it's gotten in there.
How many weeks are you looking to practice? Do you think there'll be a Garnet and Gold type of exhibition? And could fans maybe watch some of those games if things work out?
I would hope so. But we're planning on going until November 5th and having 4th and 5th as our, Garnet and Gold games. And that's the plan right now.
Me just curious, the movie nights they're doing at Hauser, is that going directly back to the baseball program or just to the athletics in general?
To be honest, I don't even know. I'm not sure exactly how that works. I know it's an outside group that puts it on. I'm sure some of the money, I would think, gets back to athletics in some form or fashion, but I really don't know the exact answer to it.
But you're not getting a cut of it.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Did they at least let you pick the movies?
No, don't get to pick those either.
Anything else, guys? Just real quick, Steven, sorry. Is there like a minimum number of games you think you guys need to get in? I mean, you mentioned getting to the number 56. I mean, is there a certain number you think has to be played to set up a national tournament?
No, I don't think necessarily they have to. The one thing that we're all concerned about is if we knock those games back. Everybody knows how our game's meant to be played all the time, day after day after day. And, the pro people using that against going to college with the high school kids. Why would you want to go to whatever university when you're only going to play 30, 40 games? You're not going to develop that way. So we're really going to try like crazy to stand firm with that we need to play at least 56. We don't need to be playing less than that.
Do you think on that front meet that there will be more double headers?
Yes, I do foresee that happening. And I hate double headers, for the record.
Gotcha.
7 innings or 9?
I was going to ask the same thing.
Yeah, they would be 7s. It's the player welfare becomes an issue there when you're playing 2 9s, so it would be 2 7s.
Thank you, Meat.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Pete.
So I'm going to try and get Reese, Albert, and Chase in here. I'm sure you've asked Chase every question you've wanted to ask him over 5 years. But those are our leaders this year. So we're going to go